Cassingham with Live in Focused Energy, coming to you from windy Twig Island. Yeah, it's kind of blustery here today, but it's not bad. I took one of my walks sleeveless and didn't even get cold, so it's just changing weather. And the yowly cat decided to go outside. We may hear her through the window, but that's better than hearing her right in the speaker, I think. Anyway, I have had an interesting experience with a 10-day detox challenge. I talked to some friends about it a couple of weekends ago, just as I was starting this thing. And when I talked about the kinds of foods and what the intention was, one of my friends said, I could do that for 10 days. Well, the intention is to hook you with the 10 days so that you make it a life practice. So my journey to healthier eating started 5.5 to 6 years ago when I discovered Mark Sisson's Primal Blueprint book. I loved his very down-to-earth, simple approach to how we should eat and exercise and sleep. He didn't consider exercise as, and Mark Sisson, by the way, is a former Olympian runner, so he knows exercise. He's backed off that stance of constant hard training. He's more into the frequent, gentler moving, with a little bit of bursting here and there, pretending the saber-toothed tiger's after you. And then whole foods, clean foods like local grass-fed meats, locally raised produce, wild fish. So I started adapting to my diet, and this is of course shortly after I just bought several buckets of wheat berries so I could grind the wheat to make my own delicious whole wheat bread, a recipe I concocted after I'd had a bread that I liked a lot that my sister and I used to enjoy. But I started cutting back on my wheat, and I cut back on my legumes, started cutting out my sugar. It was a few years before I cut out the alcohol, but let's see, sugar, grains, legumes, and dairy. I didn't cut out the dairy, but I've never done a lot. It's a little bit of in my coffee or ice cream, cakes, stuff like that. So anyway, that got me looking for other people who subscribe to similar diets and health plans. And I found Dr. Mark Hyman. He's written a bunch of books. I haven't read any of them, but I follow him on Facebook. And I like what he has to say. So a month or so ago when he put out a call for people wanting to join him on his 10-day detox challenge, I said, yeah, that'd be fun. I think I eat well. Let's see how well I hold up to what he's doing. So it wasn't really a challenge to me. So he had you not eating specific foods, the dairy, the legumes, the grains, the sugar. But he also said start your day with 30 minutes of exercise, get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, drink a lot of water, and he introduced a fiber to take before meals to help fill us up, to curb appetite in a variety of ways. So I started, I started early because his challenge started the day before I started traveling, and I didn't want to have to learn his way of thinking as I traveled. And I had fun experimenting with his recipes, and I made up enough of the morning smoothies that I could travel with them, keeping them refrigerated. So I started early and had a good head start on the pattern, and was grateful for that because while I traveled I was able to maintain. So the biggest lesson I got immediately was variety is so important. Avoid eating the same meal, the same foods for breakfast or the same foods for lunch, the same foods for dinner, because your body likes variety. You can get more nutrients, more flavor treats when you mix and match your foods. So, variety was the first lesson. There were two big pluses. I found some wonderful new recipes, especially for the morning smoothies. And Randy and I, my husband, and I started eating dinner together again. We were eating salmon and what did I find? Some wild cod, our local grass-fed beef, and vegetables and salads, and just we had fun concocting meals together while we were home. So those were two pluses that I hadn't anticipated for the challenge. At the end of the challenge, Dr. Hyman sent out a questionnaire, the same questionnaire he started us with, but he reminded us to take it again. So what changes did you notice? What I had noticed was that I had more energy. And coming from somebody who has a lot of energy, that's saying a lot. What really surprised me in my VivoFit is what told me this was happening, but his questions connected the dots for me. I'm a pretty good sleeper. My sleep was much deeper and better than usual. I liked that. Especially when you're traveling, I don't tend to sleep as well, especially the first night. But I slept soundly every night I was out of town. Then the 30 minutes of exercise first thing in the morning. I kind of tend to do that anyway. While I traveled, I couldn't bike. Walking was limited to getting to and from the conference. And since I'm trying to network and meet people, I was limited even during breaks. I was pleased that I got some, 6,000-ish steps in every day. But it wasn't the 10,000 I was shooting for. And I didn't do my biking. But I had for the 5-ish days before I started. And especially when I was biking and getting my 10,000-ish steps in, I noticed that my appetite really was reduced. My craving for food didn't exist. I enjoyed the foods that I ate. So that was kind of interesting. Let's see, I had more focus, which I really appreciated while I was in this coaching training session. I had more clarity, and I'll repeat, I had more energy, and that's always good stuff. Some of those minor bodily annoyances that we can get went away. One of them that you might not have, I got some itchy something or other on my ear, and it still itches a little bit, but I don't have the scaly stuff. I don't know if it's eczema or what, but I've tried a variety of things, and when I quit trying but was detoxing, it cut back 98%. Yay! And there were other annoyances that aren't annoying anymore. Also, while I'm focusing on eating clean, non-toxic foods, I became that much more aware of how toxic food is that people are attracted to, especially maybe at conferences. A lot of chais and sweet drinks abounded during the breaks, and people brought them into the meeting. There was an ice cream social one night, and my husband had some, and sitting next to him and smelling the hot fudge and the whipped cream and the ice cream, both teased my brain, my brain said, I want that. And my taste buds kind of shuddered and said, ooh, that just smells too sweet. Interesting debate going on between the taste buds and the brain cells. No, taste buds won. I didn't have any. Last year at the ice cream social, I went from being, I don't eat sugar, to having 2 bowls. So the brain does win sometimes. Let's see. So I finished my 10 days as I was winding down my trip. And on day 11, because I'd heard Dr. Hyman say, Lara bars, and he mentioned some other things, those are healthy foods and good snacks, good on the road food. And I thought, I'm on the road, so I stopped and picked up some of my favorite. Nope, bad idea. I basically slipped. One, I found out that, or recognized, I'm a chain eater. Not a chain smoker, a chain eater. Put a bite in, chew it, and as I swallow, put the next bite in. And for a day or two, I ate all the bars that were going to last me for a while. So I overdid some stuff. What I learned was that healthy foods, sweetened with dates and such things, are good for me because they short-circuit my control, my willpower. I'm better off not having sweets. I've done the not sweets long enough that when I have cocoa nibs with nuts, or I put cocoa powder in my hemp protein mix with just a splash of vanilla or almond extract, that is sweet enough for me. You probably would shudder at how bitter or unsweet it was, but it works for me. And that's a lot of what this detox challenge was about. What works for you? One of the women in the group said she couldn't eat the fruit smoothies because the sugar in the fruit was too much for her, short-circuited her control. So we all learned interesting different things. Because of my slip on day 11, I am redoing the 10 days. And there's several people who have a similar reaction. So I'm back to eating healthy foods. And hi Janet, good to see you. Doing the exercise, so I've been biking every morning. I've been getting lots of steps. I've been getting 10,000 steps in since I came home. And I can feel the groove starting to set for me again. So if you think that you're really healthy, test your theory. Do a 10-day detox diet or challenge. Dr. Hyman has a book, The 10-Day Detox Diet. I got excerpts of that as part of going through this. And there are a lot of good recipes, ideas, suggestions, encouragement. He had us doing journaling and all kinds of things that support change. So if you have any little bodily complaints, if you think that your energy is not quite as good as it could be, your mood swings are a little more than you'd like, your memory's not as strong as you'd like, energy, sleep, all those things, maybe your muscles and joints are sore, you've got allergy issues. Okay, we lost internet and I don't know what we missed. But if you think you've got some issues, if you have some issues, even if you think you're healthy, I can't urge you enough. I urge you to put yourself through a 10-day detox. See what it does for you. See which of your symptoms diminish or go away. You have nothing to lose, you might like it. So that is all that I have. Those are the lessons I learned from my detox diet, my challenge. I don't like to think of it so much as a diet because diets tend to make me focus on food more, which I don't want to be doing because then I want to eat. So anyway, but there's your challenge. If you want to join me, I'm only on day 2 of my next 10 days, so you can catch up. Message me, and if you have, I'm not seeing any questions yet coming through about detoxing or eating habits or patterns or how silly this might be. It is silly, and that's why it tickled me that it works so well. So that's it for now. Kit Cassingham with Live in Focused Energy. If you found value in this, please share the video. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.